All right, so I think we good to go now. I was sitting here just talking, and I didn't even hit the stream button, the start live stream button. I've been talking for like the last 5 minutes, and I wasn't even live, but I finally caught it. I finally caught it. So again, let me do my introduction. You're locked in. Turn down my phone here. But yeah, you're locked in to Uncut Atlanta Sports. I'm Walter, your host. We're going to be diving in today what the Hawks will be doing in the first round of the draft tomorrow night at 8 p.m. They made a huge trade, in my opinion. They got a dude last night in that trade with OKC. I don't think people really realize how good Aaron Wiggins really is. So we're going to be talking about that. And we're going to be talking about that number 8 pick too. That number 8 pick that the Hawks have. We're going to be talking about what they're going to do with that number 8 pick. I don't know what they're going to do with that number 8 pick. If they actually use it, I think that they're going to probably choose between two different players. I think it's two players that they are focusing in on for that number 8 pick. And then we're going to talk about if they trade up, if they trade that number 8 pick, we're going to be talking about who they could possibly get in return for that number 8 pick. So it's a lot that they can do. It's a lot that they can do. And that's one thing I like about this, the general manager of the Hawks, Ansi Soleil. You know, all these years, like the Braves, even the Falcons to a certain extent, even though the Falcons nowadays, they'll go out and make moves. They're not afraid to make a splash. The Braves are. The Braves are tightwads. They're not gonna make a big splash. But the Hawks with Ansi Soleil, this dude, he's not afraid to make moves. He's not afraid to make moves. And that's what I like. The Hawks to think about it, they made the first move of this pre-draft period in signing CJ McCollum, which I like that too. I like CJ McCollum. I think CJ McCollum is a huge piece to that team. Even if he has to move over to the bench, I think he can be good off the bench and as a starter. But yeah, we're going to talk about it all. We're going to talk about it all. So we're going to, let's see, we got 3 people in. I know I got my wife watching. She sent me a message. She sent me a message and said, hey, I'm waiting. And in my mind, I'm like, I've been talking for 5 minutes. What you mean? You waiting? And then I looked down and I didn't even press the go live button. So, so I appreciate my baby looking out for me. So yeah, we're going to jump right into it. Let's dive into this thing. Let's not prolong the time. But let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this trade. Let's take a look at this trade for Aaron Wiggins. As you can see, let's take it over here. There we go. And we're going to take a look at that. Bam. Bam. You can see some highlights right there on the screen of Aaron Wiggins. Dude was balling. Bam. 3-point shooter. Bam. Can play the point, got size, look, can break down the defense, pull up, bam. Bam, defense, steals, good hands, great athleticism. Great athleticism. Bam, bam, got hops as a guard. So, dude, Aaron Wiggins he can take the ball, take you off the dribble. Great athleticism. So, as you can see, it says the Hawks are finalizing a deal to acquire guard Aaron Wiggins from the Oklahoma City Thunder. And look, they only traded 2 draft picks for it. They traded 2 second-round draft picks. 2 second-round draft picks. One in 2030 and then another one in 2032. And I know that was big for OKC because they're trying to really, really get a hold on that roster as far as like the tax penalties that they are facing with that current roster that they have. And so, yeah, this is a good move. This is a good move. getting Aaron Wiggins. The dude is athletic. The reason why he didn't play as much in the latter days with OKC is because those guys got healthy. They got a lot of guys to come back, and he kind of just fell out of the rotation. And so it wasn't because he was a bad player. It wasn't because he can't play. It was because he's on the team with Gilgeous-Alexander, Lou Dort, J-Dub. He's on the bench. He's on the court with those guys. And then they have the McCain kid as well, who came in and balled. So he kind of just didn't fit in anymore. And it affected his playing time. Not because he was a bad player. In my opinion, I think I would have probably played Wiggins over McCain. As good as McCain is, and as athletic as McCain is, I like Wiggins' size. I love the dude's size. I love his athleticism. He can stretch the floor. He can shoot. He can play defense. He can guard both positions. He can guard the wing and the point guard position. So that's a luxury to have in a guard that can guard a point guard as well as a 2 and maybe even a 3 in certain situations. So I like it. I like it. And you only gave up 2 second-round picks. I like that. Not a bad trade, in my opinion. I think it's a bad trade in a sense for OKC because I think they gave up a pretty good player. They gave up a pretty good player in Aaron Wiggins. I like the dude. I like him more than Lou Dort. Lou Dort has size. Lou Dort has size. I get it. The dude is thick. He can defend and all of that. He can shoot, but it's just he's not as athletic as Aaron Wiggins. And I think pairing Aaron Wiggins with Jalen Johnson and possibly pairing him with C.J. McCollum and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, man, it's going to be a crazy thing. And then you can bring him off the bench. He can be a good bench piece as well. So talking about bench pieces, if he's going to come off the bench, then we still are going to need a starting guard. So who can we possibly find to start? I think that this is where the draft is going to come in handy. So let's take a look at this guy. We're going to take a look at Mr. Darius Acuff. We're going to look at Mr. Darius Acuff, 6'3" guard, good size for a guard, 190 pounds. I like that. I like he got a little size on him. Let me get this advertisement off the screen. I'm sorry about that, y'all. But, yeah, let's just take a look at some of his stats. I'm going to stroll over so that I can get the main stats on the screen. But, yeah, assists. I want to look at his assist numbers right here. Assists. He averaged about, looks like about 5 to 6 assists a game. I like that. He had some games that's highlighted right here to where he had 10 assists, 8 assists, 5 assists, 9 assists, 13 assists, 6 assists. I like that. I like that. And then he's not afraid to get in on the defensive glass too as well. 6 defensive rebounds, 4 defensive rebounds, 5, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 5. I'll take that out of a guard. I'll take that out of a point guard because he has pretty good size. He can distribute the ball. Dude can ball. He can play. He can play. I think that if you're going to bring in Wiggins and you don't plan on starting Aaron Wiggins, if you plan on having him coming off of the bench, then I really do think that the Hawks could be leaning towards drafting Darius Acuff at that 8th pick that they have in the first round. It's going to give them a possible starter, a guy that's starter ready, a guy that can shoot, a guy that can distribute the ball, and he's a good defender too as well. He's a good defender as well. And so his field goal percentages got pretty good field goal percentages. Pretty good field goal percentages. shoot the three ball fairly well. Shoot it over 30% from the three. So he's pretty good. Darius Acuff, I think that he could be a good solid piece to draft in the first round at guard if you're not planning on starting Aaron Wiggins. Again, I don't know. They might be planning on starting Aaron Wiggins, but that bench needs some help. The Hawks bench is not good. The bench is pretty bad. And they're gonna have to address that bench. And they don't just need help at the guard position off of the bench. They need help up front off of the bench. That's why I like some type of deal to get done to get Mitchell Robinson in here, to bring Mitchell Robinson in to bring toughness off of that bench, rebounding, shot blocking. He ain't gonna hit no free throw. Mitchell Robinson, he's not gonna hit a free throw, but that dude can most certainly defend and defend the paint, as well as give you some good offensive and defensive rebounding. So I like that move. But yeah, Darius Acuff. So we also know that the Hawks need a big man. The only big man legitimately that we have that's like 6'9", he's not really a big man, but Double O, Onyeka Okongwu. He's not a elite rebounder. He's very athletic, but he's undersized. He gets bullied a lot playing people that's bigger than him. So we need size. I think we need a starting center with size. Now, we could go this way when it comes to getting size. And as you can see, this is Ade Mara out of Michigan. This is a possibility of someone that the Hawks can turn to in this draft. And I don't hate this decision. He's a great rebounder, 7'3". That's what we need. Size. I always say, as long as you can get somebody with size that don't speak full English. He's from Spain. I have never heard this guy speak before, though. He might speak full English. I don't know. But he's from Spain. But his numbers are pretty good. And 7'3", 240 pounds. That's a pretty good size big guy. And we need size right now. And the reason why I like this is because we can slide Double O down to the 4 spot, which is where he belongs. Double O can stretch the floor. We know he's great shooting the 3. We know how good he's been doing that. And if we can get him back in his natural position, I think that's going to open up a lot more of his game, because he's trying to do things that he just can't do. He can't defend Karl Anthony Towns. That dude can't defend Rudy Gobert. You know what I'm saying? He can't defend Wemby. I mean, not many people can defend Wemby. There's really not many people that can do that. But you need some size down there. You need some girth. And Mara, he has that girth. He got the size, 7'3", 240. He can bang down there. And so with that 8th pick, I wouldn't be shocked if we did something like this to get that front court shored up and then bring in a big man like Mitchell Robinson through free agency for the bench. So we'll see. But let's take a look at some of his stats. And we're going to look at, again, I don't go through all these numbers. I'm not these stat nerds, these people that go through all these stats and stuff. I want to know, can the guy rebound? Can he block a shot? And can he put some points on the board? Can he play defense? That's all I care about. All these percentages and all of that stuff. Man, I don't care nothing about none of that. Can the dude play defense? Can he box out? Can he rebound the basketball? And as a center, can he give me a few block shots a night? So as you can see, look at this, defensive rebounding. He's not that good on the offensive rebounding board. I would like to see that better if we draft him. But yeah, he's good on the defensive rebounding glass. 11 rebounds, 8, 5, 8, 6, 7, 4, 7, 6. Not good in this game. I'm assuming that he didn't really play in this game. 7 rebounds, 3 rebounds, 5, 6, 5, 6, 4, 4. So pretty decent numbers as far as defensive rebounding. But on the offensive side, still lacking. Still lacking a little bit with 7'3" being your height. I want you on that offensive glass a little bit more. And, with these guys shooting threes so much now, the 3-point shooting now, it's hard to get offensive rebounds right now. It's very hard to get an offensive rebound because of the amount of threes that teams are shooting. You got big men out on the perimeter shooting jump shots, shooting threes. So that kind of puts the numbers for offensive rebounding in jeopardy in a lot of these cases. But again, I would like to see him a little bit higher. Blocks. I love the block shots. 5. Had one this game. 1, 3 blocks. 2, 2, 4. 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 1. So I like these block shots. I like it. I like his ability to block the shots. I like his ability to plug up that paint. As the Hawks fan, the thing that aggravated the crap out of me was watching, not just in this playoffs against the Knicks, because that was a disgrace after we won those 2 games. But even during the season, it was an absolute disgrace to see how teams just took off down the middle and we had literally no resistance at all to people driving down the middle, just getting easy buckets at the rim, just aggravating. We had no rim protection. And I know some people are probably going to say, well, Walter, we got Jock Landale. Jock Landale, when he got hurt, people made a big deal about Jock Landale. Now, let me just say this. This might make some people mad. This might make people upset. But I just didn't understand why we were so high on Jock Landale. He would have given us a little bit more size against the Knicks. He probably would have given us a little bit more rebounding against the Knicks in that playoff series. But you wasn't going to beat the Knicks or a top-tier team like the San Antonio Spurs, OKC, or, the Cavaliers. You weren't going to beat them with Jock Landale. So I don't expect Jock Landale to be on the roster, but they may bring him back because he might be a cheap option. So we'll see. But I really don't want to have Jock Landale as a backup center. He's not tough enough. He's not nitty gritty enough for me. He can split. He can spread the floor. Yeah, he can shoot. He can shoot, but he's not a consistent good 3-point shooter. But he'll knock down maybe 1 or 2 a night. But, he's not a guy that I want to put my eggs in the basket with. I want Mitchell Robinson as that bench piece. I want him as the bench piece. And then if we can draft somebody like Mara off of Michigan at that number 8 pick, I think that that'll work too as well. I think that will definitely work as well. But that's going to depend on what the plan is with Aaron Wiggins. You got to know what we're going to do with Aaron Wiggins. Nobody knows how Ansi Soleil or Quinn Snyder is going to use these pieces. And, Quinn Snyder, let's talk about Quinn Snyder for a quick second. We're going to talk about Quinn Snyder, and then I'm going to talk about what the Hawks can possibly do if they if they trade away that 8th pick for another player. But let's talk about Quinn Snyder. I really don't even think Quinn Snyder should still be the coach. Quinn Snyder should not still be the coach. You cannot lose. You were down by 50, almost 50, I think 50 points at halftime at home in the playoffs against the Knicks after you had already won 2 games. You lost at home to the Knicks by almost 60 points, 51 points. And then the other games you lost in that series, you lost by like 30 something. and then you lost by like I think 18 or 19 or maybe 20. Quinn Snyder he's a good guy, I'm sure. I always have to say that. I hate saying that because I start sounding like Stephen A. Smith. Before he criticized somebody, he always got to talk about how good of a person they are. Look, we're not talking about the people. We're not talking about sports from the lens of a personal lens. We're talking about what they do in their jobs as coaches and as players, as GMs, as owners. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about their personal life. We're not talking about who they are as a person. No, we're talking about the talent. And I don't believe Quinn Snyder should have made it out of the building that night when they, lost by 51 points. He shouldn't have left the building that night still employed. He should have been terminated after that game. You can't lose that way in the playoffs, especially after being up 2-1. You can't do it. You just can't. So I don't have a lot of confidence in Quinn Snyder doing the right thing with the roster that NCAA places in front of him. So if you give him the good roster, if you give him the pieces, will he know how to get the most out of those pieces? I don't think that Zachary Risachet was a good first-round pick, but he has some talent. And I just don't think that he got the best out of Zachary Risachet, put him in the best positions to succeed on this team. I think he should have played more in the Knicks series. Obviously, we were getting destroyed because of our size, and Risachet is like 6'10", 6'11". So if anything, he gave us a little bit of size. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what was going on behind the scenes with Quinn Snyder and the team and the organization and Zachary Risachet, but I just think that the man should have played him more during that Knicks series. Should have played him more. Should have played him more instead of Kuminga. Because Kuminga stunk. Kuminga absolutely stunk in that playoff series against the Knicks. So I don't have any confidence at all that Quinn Snyder is going to do the right thing when it comes to this roster. Even when it comes to the Aaron Wiggins trade, that's a huge piece. But if he's not used correctly, you're not going to get the most out of him. It's not going to benefit the team. It's not going to benefit the team. So we have to get this draft pick right. We have to get this number 8 draft pick. We have to get that draft pick right. Whether we trade that pick, whether we keep that pick, whether we're choosing between Darius Acuff, whether we're choosing between Ade Mara from Michigan, the big man, we got to nail that pick down. Now, let's talk about if we trade. Let's see if we trade that 8th pick. There's a lot of noise out there about the Hawks trading to get Trey Murphy off of New Orleans and bringing him over in exchange for that number 8 pick. Let me see. I like it, but I don't like it, if that makes sense. I like it, but I don't like it. I like it because Trey Murphy gives you size that we need. Trey Murphy gives you a level of physicality that we need. Trey Murphy can shoot the 3. He can attack the paint. And most importantly, he's a great rebounder. He can rebound the basketball, and he can defend. He can defend multiple positions. But the reason why I don't like trading that pick is because, in my opinion, the center position is the most needed on this team. Right there ahead of the point guard. The big man position is a must need for this Falcons team. And in my opinion, what I would like to see happen, I would like to see us draft Mr. Mara. I would like to see us draft Mr. Mara and bring him in as our starter. Bring him in as our starter. And we can also bring in Mitchell Robinson in free agency. And then there we go. We have our front court solidified. I think Mara, he's ready to start already. He's already starter ready. He's starter ready already. So, in my opinion, I would not trade the 8th pick. But if Ansi Soleil decided to trade that 8th pick, I'm not going to be mad at it. I won't be mad. I won't be jumping from the rafters, singing hallelujah or nothing like that. But I'll take it. Whichever way the team goes in regards to that, I'll take it. I'll take it. But you can't miss. You can't miss on this 8th pick. And I also don't think you can go wrong. I don't think you can go wrong with Mr. Darius Acuff either. I don't think you can go wrong with him. I don't think you can. So if you're talking about choosing between Mara and Acuff, then that's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have. But there's two things that's huge. I think that trade in which we traded 2 second-round picks for Aaron Wiggins from OKC, that was huge. That was absolutely huge. And I think the next big move that we make right behind this number 8th pick is going to be, who do we get in free agency to come off the bench with size, who can defend. That's who we need to come off the bench up front. Somebody who can defend, who can rebound, who has size. That's what we need. So, yeah, I like it. I like this Aaron Wiggins trade. I think that's going to shock a lot of people. That's really going to shock a whole lot of people when it comes to this Hawks team. We got to get Jalen Johnson from being the number 1 to being the number 2. Jalen Johnson is not a number 1. I know that's a controversial statement to make, but he's not a number 1. Okay? I think we saw that in the playoffs this year with the Knicks, against the Knicks. He's not a number 1 option. He's a great number 2 option who does not have to create his own shot. So if you can get a point guard, let's say you get a point guard like Darius Acuff, now you got somebody who can set JJ up on the wing. You can set him up with the lobs. You can set him up coming off screens, maybe for a pick and pop. You got the guy, you can free him up to offensive rebound a lot more, because I don't think we got the most out of him once we traded Trae Young, because that took away his ability to offensive rebound because he had to handle the ball so much prior to CJ McCollum coming over. So it's cool. It's actually cool if we can get Darius Acuff too as well at that number 8 pick, because that's going to take the ball out of Jalen Johnson's hands and Dyson Daniels' hands, and that puts those guys back in the position to be able to score, attack the rim, as well as be set up with those lobs, as well as the offensive rebounds. I think that was the big problem with Kuminga. Kuminga came here and he started trying to take people off the dribble and create his own shots. That's not his game. It's not his game. He needed somebody that could set him up running on the wing, set him up with the alleys, set him up for maybe some pick and pop plays. But he's not somebody who you want trying to dribble, create the shot for himself as well as others. So this team desperately, the Hawks, need A, big man, and B, they need a point guard. They have to have it. They have to have it. They got to get a point guard. So I think that a lot of issue, because if you can see, if you noticed in that Knicks series, they kept turning the ball over because they had nobody. They had nobody to handle the basketball. Nobody. So Nikhil is not a point guard. CJ McCollum, yeah, he can play point guard in some situations, but he's not a solid point guard. No, he's not. Dyson Daniels is not a point guard. I hope Dyson Daniels works on that jump shot in the offseason, because I don't care how good his defense is. And in my opinion, his defense got put on blast here in the playoffs, because he got cooked. He got cooked against the Knicks. You know, they were cooking him. They cooked him. They cooked him for dinner, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They cooked Jalen Johnson for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the playoffs. So we need help, not just offensively, but defensively. We need the help. We need help. We need help, and we need it bad. So, yeah. So whether we trade the 8th pick, I think if they trade it, they're going to go after Trey Murphy. If we don't trade it, they're going to draft either Mara from Michigan, or they're going to trade and get Mr. Acuff. They're going to get Mr. Acuff out of Arkansas. And I wouldn't be mad with either one of those. I wouldn't be mad if we traded that position, traded that draft pick, and got a player in here like Trey Murphy from New Orleans. I wouldn't be mad at it. Again, I won't be jumping up and down for it, because I really want us to draft either a big man or a point guard in this draft, and then, work on that bench. But I'm not going to be mad with either one of those moves. Either one of them, I'll be happy with. So, yeah, that's my take on all of it. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they're going to do. I'm excited to see exactly what they're going to do at number 8. That's going to be very interesting. I've heard reports that they're going to try and trade up to get Darren Peterson. I don't know. We don't know. With these rumors prior to drafts, you never know. But they're talking about trading up to get that dude. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yep. But hey, look, I appreciate the couple of people that tuned in. Again, this is a new channel. We're working on building the channel from scratch. I appreciate everybody who watched the videos, who like and subscribe. I thank God for you. We're all Atlanta sports fans here, and we just want the best for our teams. We want the best for the city, and we want to make sure that we're holding these teams accountable, that they're giving us what we pay for. We pay all this money to go to these games. We pay all this money for merchandise. All we want is for our teams to be good. That's all we want. That's all we ask for. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel. I'm working on a video that's going to be uploaded possibly Tuesday. It's going to be dealing with the Braves, how I think that the Braves are in trouble, even though they still have a great record. We still going to talk about that, because the Braves fans my fellow Braves fans, they always jump down my throat when I talk about the Braves and I criticize them, even though they're doing good. So we're going to talk about that. But until that time, thank you for tuning in to Uncut Atlanta Sports. I'm Walter. I'll see you on the next one.